Say hi.
HT made the wave.
Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I wanted to do my first video on my labor and delivery story, like a story time, and then my story on finding out I was pregnant. So the first month, I'd always kind of had a sporadic period, like it was never really always the same or at the exact same time. The first month I was pregnant, I felt a little bit out of it. I didn't really know what was happening. I just felt not myself, low energy, and I told my partner, and his thought process was instantly, maybe you're pregnant, and I didn't even think that was. I was like, no way, not possible. It's got to be something else. The second month came, really light period again, like spotting, like even less than last time, and I was still feeling really out of it, even more nauseous now too. And I told my partner like how I was feeling, and he was like, maybe we should really go get a test, stop holding it off, like we need to go and just get one, just get it out of our heads, because if it's not that, then we need to figure out what it could be. So we went to CVS. I let him go in and pick the test, and he went and got store brand. Of course. He went and got store brand. And usually there really shouldn't be anything wrong with those. Everybody says store brand is just as good as the name brand, just cheaper. So he went and got store brand, and I think it came with 2. And we went back to my place. I peed straight on the stick, and it came back negative. But when we bought the test and opened it, there was kind of already like a line already on the test, and we weren't sure if that was normal. We thought it was supposed to be like blank, but it was like a faded line. But we took the test, and it came back negative like pretty quickly. So we were like, alright, it's not that. Let's just we'll see what happens. We'll see if it gets worse, or see if it continues, try to figure out what else it could be. More time went on, like a few more weeks. So this is hit like 2 months at this point. So like a week went by, and I was feeling worse. I was feeling even more nauseous all the time. Wasn't throwing up though, but just was feeling 10 times worse. Still waiting on a heavier period, nothing. And at this point, I was at my girlfriend's house. So she went and got me a test, and this time she got clear blue. And she got the digital and the line ones. And I peed in a cup this time because I felt like it might be more accurate than peeing directly on the stick. So I peed in a cup. We put the line one in first, I think. And that one came back, and it looked like it said negative at first. And she was like, you're fine, it's negative. And then she turns over again, and she was like, and I was like, what do you mean, And she was like, you need to come look at this. And I went over, and it had 2 lines, which means you're pregnant, and my heart dropped. I was like, no way, can't be possible, no way. And I kept saying it to her. I was like, no way, I need to take the other one, something's wrong with this one. Because the other one I took with my partner said negative, this one's just glitching. So I waited for a fresh pee, peed in the cup, put the digital stick in. That one came back even faster than the first one. Pregnant. Yes. It said yes, plus. And that's when I was like, alright, there's no way these are both wrong. Even though it was with the first one, I was like, something's up. And I called my partner, and I told him, I was like, I took all these tests at my friend's house, and they're all coming back positive. I sent him a picture of them. He came over to see me, and the next morning, I think it was, we went and got tests again, 2 more, just to really, really be sure. You can never be too sure. We got 2 tests, store brand, and we took them in the bathroom there because I was like, I need to know now. Like, I don't even have time to go back to the house and take them. Like, I need to take them in the store bathroom right now with my morning pee. Because on the test it says it's better with your morning pee, more accurate. So I was like, I'm taking it right now, my first morning pee. Held my pee in, held it in for this test, drove all the way there, and took my first morning pee there. And it came back yes. So at that point, you just call your doctor. So I called my doctor, let them know. We went and got blood work, and came back positive. I was. And then they got us in for an ultrasound that week. And that's when we went and found out that I was already, I think, 13 weeks, so almost 3 months. Yeah, 13 or 12 weeks, something close to that. So I was pretty far along. But you never know. I didn't get any symptoms really. I just felt like not myself, and then a little bit nauseous. Not too nauseous, but you never know. Some people get the symptoms, some people don't. So don't really rely on, do I have all the symptoms? Do I have most of the symptoms? Because everybody's different. So the moral to this whole story is listen to your body. And if you feel like something's off, probably is. And, more importantly, if you think you're a bad bee and that you can't get pregnant, you say, this can't happen to me. Now this is going to be my labor and delivery story. So at the time I was working at Target, and I remember I had been scheduled a full week. I gave birth on January 29th at 2:54 a.m. and I was really supposed to, my due date was supposed to be February 6th. So I thought I had a lot of time, more time than what I actually had. I felt like the earliest I would go into labor was February 2nd, not January. But I had a full week of work. It was like the last week of January. I had a full week of work, like 40 hours. And one night I was having really, really bad cramps. I thought I was Braxton Hicks. Usually you get Braxton Hicks like the last 2 months of your pregnancy. Some people might get it sooner. But I thought I was having really bad Braxton Hicks. I'd been having them for a while. I thought they were just, a little bit worse. But it was so bad, I was tossing and turning. I couldn't sleep for more than a half an hour at a time. It'd be like half an hour, wake up, be in pain, fall asleep again, wake up. It felt worse than it'd normally been. And I told my partner, and he was like, oh my god, like, we have to go to the hospital now, like, right now. And me, I hate the hospital. I will avoid it at all costs. That was, like, the one part of the pregnancy I was not liking, going to the doctors all the time. And then I actually got the flu with him while I was 8.5 weeks pregnant. I got the flu, so I'd been in the hospital, like, a few weeks prior. Or I was, like, 8 months, just 8 months pregnant. And I got the flu when I was having him. So I had to go to the hospital that time too. But I just never liked the hospitals, never. So I was trying to wait till literally last minute. I didn't want to go to the hospital and then get sent home and then have to come back again in like a few weeks or a few days. So, what? What? You want to be on camera too? You want to be on camera? Huh? You want to be on camera? I didn't want to go to the hospital. I had a full week of work. I was trying to get every day. I was like, I'm not going to get paid for my maternity. I need to go to work. So the next morning I had the morning off, but I had to go in for like an afternoon to night shift. So the afternoon came around. I was having cramps all day. My partner wanted me to just call out and just take it easy. And he called my doctor and he told her about my like contractions, which we didn't know were contractions at the time, and she was like, it could be Braxton Hicks. She was like, there are contractions when they're closer together, so really pay attention to the time that you're having the pain. It was a little bit faster now. It was like not every 30 minutes, it's every 20 minutes now, but still nowhere near fast enough for it to be like a contraction, or that's what I thought at least. So I went to work. I was like, I gotta go to work, gotta just finish this work week, and then this is it, I'm off the schedule. So I went into work. I was fine the first hour, and then it started getting a little bit worse, and I was so bad I couldn't even move. I had to like sit on the floor and fold t-shirts. I couldn't even get up and do what I normally could. So I was like, something's not right, and I started paying more attention to the time. And my contractions at this point were 3 minutes apart. I made it halfway through my shift. I think it was the 4th hour at work, and I was about to go on my lunch break, and I was having back to back to back to back to back contractions. And my manager, I was like, I have to go find my manager. I have to tell her that I need to go now, and I need to tell my partner. So I found my manager, and she was actually just coming over to talk to me anyway, and she was like, how are you feeling? Because a few days prior, I had to call out one shift because my back pain. But she asked me how I was doing, and I told her, I was like, I'm timing my contractions. I was like, and at this point, they're 3 minutes apart, and my doctor told me to start going to the hospital, and they're 4 minutes apart. And she was like, oh my god, go. You need to go now. I went, clocked out, grabbed all my stuff, called my partner so he could leave work. And keep in mind, I'm working 20 minutes away from the house. I still need to go get my hospital bag. I'm driving 20 minutes with the worst contractions, hunched over at the wheel, and, hunched over at the wheel, freaking out, panicking. I was like, I don't want to go to the hospital. I don't want to give birth tonight. Not tonight. Just being, like, so anxious. And we get to the house, grab our bags, we go to the hospital. I get there, there's like this room before they bring you up to the room you give birth in. It's like a checkout. Like they check you out first to see if you are in active labor. I don't know what to call it. You wait there, you get hooked up to monitors to make sure that your contractions are steady and that they are contractions. The doctor's gonna check if you're dilated. And she came in, checked my cervix, and at this point I think I was 5 centimeters or 4 or 5 centimeters, so I was in active labor. My water hadn't broken or anything yet. Then we got confirmed and we got to go upstairs to the room I was gonna be giving birth in. And she kept checking my cervix. I moved along pretty fast. And I kept trying to hold off on getting an epidural because I heard it can slow the process down. So I was like really trying to hold off, and I wanted to have natural labor, like if I could, natural birth. But I remember taking a hot shower, walking around, bouncing on the ball. But after I took the hot shower, that was the last thing I did. I was doing my makeup, trying to look good for when I gave birth. I was doing my makeup, and I got through one eyebrow, and then I just felt a warm fluid rushing down my leg, like hitting my feet, like it was a puddle. And at that point, I was like, that's definitely my water. I did not pee. It feels like you're peeing, but it's like your water breaking. And that's when my contractions got so much worse. So much worse. Like unbearable. I was holding off on the epidural as long as I could. This was maybe, I think, 3 hours into me being in the hospital. Because I was only in labor 5 hours. Yeah, 5 hours in all. I was in labor, active labor. So 3 hours went by. I finally was like, I need an epidural. I can't do this anymore. Once you get it, you're bedridden. You can't walk around. You can't get up to go pee. You get a catheter. So I was really trying to hold off, and you can't eat either. So I didn't want to be starving and then have to push. And you can eat like popsicles and Jello, but that's not filling. Not enough for me. So I was holding off as much as I could. And then I got my epidural, and then she checked my cervix again. And she was like, alright, it's time to push. Do you need to practice pushing? I was like, yeah. And she got me because I wasn't practicing pushing. She was just getting me to push in general. I wasn't practicing. And I just started pushing and pushing. You're not just pushing 1, 2, 3, 4. No, we were pushing 1, 2, 3. You have to hold in your breath and just keep pushing the whole 10 seconds. I pushed for 40 minutes until he came. 40 minutes straight of pushing. And all I was in active labor for 5 hours. And I had 2 hours with my epidural. And in case you're wondering about the epidural, it's like a bee sting in your lower back. But it makes your whole bottom half go numb. It is so nice when you're having contractions, because for me, I didn't want to have to worry about pushing and managing the pain. I mean, you're still gonna feel when you push, but it's way more easier when you can focus on one thing. So it made pushing a lot easier, even though your legs do get tired because you can't really feel them, so they're really tired. It takes extra strength to push, but it's worth it if you don't want to worry about like pain and pushing. So I'm glad I got my epidural, and I was pushing for 40 minutes, so I would not have wanted to have been in that much pain for 40 minutes. And it was a really easy labor and pregnancy for me. I'm so thankful that it was the way it was. And I shouldn't say easy, but it was like a really healthy and it was very natural. So I'm thankful for that. I just wanted to make this story time for people who might be going into this situation, or, you know what I mean, people who are pregnant or thinking about being pregnant and are worried and want to hear other people's stories. Because I know when I found out I was pregnant, on YouTube I was like looking up labor and delivery vlogs, all that stuff. I wanted to know as much as I could, because you never know which way it's going to go. So it's nice to have like all these different scenarios. So that's about it for my labor and delivery and pregnancy story time. And if you guys have any questions, you can comment them down below. And I also have my socials down in the description. So if you have any questions, you can ask there. And I'll see you guys on the next video.
The face.